Welcome to the Women in Wealth podcast, brought to you by Regina McCann HESS, a certified financial planner with over 2 decades of experience. This show is for professional women who want guidance in working towards their retirement vision in learning, building, planning, striving for your dreams, and putting the work in now so that you can pursue your financial independence. So you can actually have a divorce and do it more amicably than going to the court and having some stranger making your decisions. What the heck? More about that.
Shocker.
I know, right? So I have my newest friend with me, Sandra Zell. And Sandra, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do?
I can. Thank you, Regina, for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to educate others about this amazing idea that you can get divorced without court intervention, and without it being an adversarial process where the decisions are your own. So my name is Sandra. I am a licensed attorney in Pennsylvania, and I'm also certified as well in mediation, and I focus solely in divorce mediation.
Wow. Okay. So that is a lot to do. And we all know, well, no, everyone doesn't know, but everyone thinks, well, I'm going to have my day in court and I'm going to get him or I'm going to get her. And we're going to get and I see this on Facebook all the time. I want the Barracuda lawyer and the shark. I want the shark. And if they only knew, and it's a case where they don't know what they don't know,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So I am a huge advocate of, if we can, let's go through mediation, because I'll let you tell, since you are the mediator, tell people the difference between mediating a divorce and going to court for a divorce.
Oh, gosh.
Uh-huh.
It's night and day,
Yes.
honestly. A little bit about me. I got into this field because I did do it the wrong way, but I didn't know it was wrong at the time. You want to get a divorce, or a divorce is thrown on you and your first instinct is to call an attorney, which is fine. The problem is that you only have control over yourself when you go that route. And you don't know who the other person is going to hire. Is the other person going to hire the shark? And then all of a sudden, it starts taking a turn where things get more and more volatile, and you're leading with emotions. Divorce is the most emotional time, in your life. It's scary. It's the unknown. There's so much going on. But in reality, there's no emotion really in divorce law. And that's the problem of where, the adversarial process kicks in, is you start using emotion to find justice for whatever went wrong. And it's not coming, there's no justice coming. It's a business dissolution, but people are leading with emotions and attorneys feed off of that. And one thing leads to another thing leads to, and it just builds upon itself, and things get out of control.
Yeah. Very quickly too.
Very quickly. And then it takes a long time at the same time. So in the beginning, things escalate quickly, and then it gets beyond slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody's motion, and then another motion, and then a counter motion, and then, and then all of a sudden it's, okay, I've spent 30,000 and nothing's even really happened yet.
Exactly.
Anywhere near the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, enter mediation. People reach out to me, and I offer initial consultations, complimentary, because I really want to educate people before they make decisions. It's just, you have to find out all of your options, and I want to be accessible to people. So, when people reach out to me, and they get on the Zoom, it's a huge moment because there's so much emotions involved, making the call, filling out the paperwork to get to the Zoom, and then learning is it's a lot of steps for people, and it's scary. It's scary. So, and I understand it. I remember calling my lawyer the first time and just crying on the phone. So, I understand it, and I'm able to connect with people in that way. But mediation is a process where you're in charge of the decision making. I say, as a neutral legal guide. So, I have a general idea of what, one side's attorney would be telling them and arguing for, as well as the other side. And they need to make legally informed decisions, but that are grounded in their reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's family, everyone's, personal relationships, even whether they have kids or not, everything is unique. When you eliminate the people in between the two parties, you can accomplish so much more so quickly. And the lack of a barrier to information that breeds distrust is gone. Like, we're all working as a team, and it's just it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And people don't realize also that one, it's a shorter process. On average, a divorce going through just lawyers, I should say, lawyer versus lawyer, and potentially going into court, I'd say on average about 2 years. I have one case that's been 4 years, and it's not even a complicated case. I don't understand why they are still battling this out. Just be done with that already so you can move on to the next phase of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But had they, done mediation, it would be a different story, maybe a couple months. What are your thoughts on the time frame of mediation?
100%. So, mediation is typically 3 to 4 months, but I always say, whatever the couple's timeline is, makes sense. You don't want to rush through things. If time is needed to get the proper information to make the right decisions, that's fine. But typically a normal case that would take 2 years in court and maybe $100,000 is done in 3 to 4 months.
Right.
The same result.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what's
Yes.
so crazy. It's the same outcome because just like I said when we first started talking, emotions drive the process and litigation, but the laws are the laws. The general rules of, percentages it is what it is.
Right, right. And there are times when you do need to, what do you call, quote unquote, lawyer up, right? There's situations where mediation is not going to work. And I work with some amazing divorce attorneys who handle that very well. And, if you are going to go down that route, you want an attorney who is collaborative, not the big C collaborative, but somebody who's willing to negotiate and get that conversation going to negotiate some kind of truce or whatever agreement so that they don't have to go to court. Because again, it goes back to whoever's in that courtroom. They could have 5 cases that day that look extremely similar because no case is the same, and they could rule 5 different ways.
100%.
You don't know. You don't know what you're getting that day.
You don't, and you also don't know, when you get assigned a judge, every judge rules differently.
Yeah.
So I was just, I recently took a week or two ago a CLE course on custody decisions, and my takeaway from that 3-hour CLE was know your judge. That's all the attorneys that were teaching the course kept saying. Know your judge. That's so disturbing. And scary. It's scary because these are, there was a custody, a CLE, but, for your kids, that someone is making a decision and that 2 different judges can change your lives and your kids' lives. And it's just based on their, personality, their personal viewpoint. There really is no control in that environment. No. And it come down to know your judge is terrifying. And if you can avoid it, avoid it. Sometimes, like you said, you can, and you do need that advocate.
Yeah.
Well,
as I know, it's so scary. I'll tell you one snippet of a story where the clients they wound up going to court, and again, like situation where 2 kids, it could have been a basic every other week or, some other arrangement for child custody. And I don't know who the judge was, but my guess is that the judge was ancient because he did something that you would see from 25 years ago where the dad only got every other weekend and one night during the week. And my mind, Sandra, was blown. I'm like, that doesn't even exist anymore. We have equal parenting now. What is going on with this situation? It appalled me as a parent. It appalled me.
Absolutely. It's not about traditional gender roles anymore. It's
No.
just not. If you are able to and you want it, but I'm saying, the
Yeah.
husband, you get 50-50,
Yeah.
and that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be. And it's hard for, mothers to relinquish control.
For
But
sure.
standard is standard. And,
Yeah.
if you come to mediation, we dive into that because they have to know that that's the standard. But again, judges might do something different. You never know. And then see if that fits into their lives. What time do you get home from work? What time, it really has to be based in reality, and
Right.
that you're really able to craft the right schedule in mediation because again, we're all talking to each other.
Yep, yep. And here's the other great thing about mediation. And I know we're going back and forth on court versus mediation, but I think
Yeah.
it's good for people to see the black and white difference. But with mediation, you said there's guidelines, right, for the court. But those are guidelines. When you're in mediation, is it true that you can negotiate a settlement that is like it doesn't have to match exactly to the guidelines because you're the ones determining it, like
Yeah.
the spouses are determining it, obviously with the neutral like yourself, a
Yeah.
mediator who's going
Yeah.
to guide them to those decisions that are going to work better for them and their families.
Right, exactly. There's comfort in knowing the laws or the general rules. It's important. It's very important
Yes.
to know them and to know them well, and then you can throw them all out the window. It doesn't, as long as you're making informed decisions, make decisions that work for you.
Yeah.
And let's get creative. I mean, the barrier to getting creative and doing having arrangements that are very unique and different is it takes too long and it's too expensive when you have separate lawyers. So almost mediated agreements, at least with me, you can get very particular in the terms that really work for you because it's so expensive to get to that point and time consuming the other way. But when we're all
Mhm.
working together, you can come up with the nuances and just really tailor it to yourselves. It's a big difference.
It's a huge difference. And it
Yeah.
goes back to how much better off your family, not just you yourself,
No.
not
Yeah.
just the other spouse, but your family. How much
Yeah.
better off they're going to be after the divorce because you went through this process versus the War of the Roses
Yeah.
process,
More of the process.
right?
Yep.
Oh,
I
rough.
know, I know. It's a journey for people. And the longer, when people are going through a divorce, you say, typically it can last 2 years in the traditional process. Those are 2 years where you are just in limbo.
Yeah.
You're stuck. You're not progressing professionally, most likely. You're not progressing, mentally, personally, all of the things because you're stuck. You're often in hiding. You don't want to talk to people. It's a struggle. And in mediation, because like just the difference, even in an hour consultation, people join, their voices are shaky. They don't know what to expect. At the end of the hour, even, they're
Mhm.
lighter. Like I can see
Yeah.
the difference in an hour. And from start to finish in 3 to 4 months, the growth is so huge. And that's why I love what I do. It's so validating as a professional to see like the impact and how quick it happened in how scared they were on the and I always bring up at the end, I'm like, remember the consultation when this happened and and look at you now.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
they're like, I can't believe it. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. So it takes the stagnancy of the long process and shortens it up and makes it just human. Like we're all
Yes.
people, we're working together. Let's do the best we can for you and your kids.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this question comes up a lot. Well, what if my spouse is like, very controlling or is going to infiltrate the meeting and get everything to go his way as a neutral? Like, explain how you handle situations like that and get it back to the middle ground.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. I have had, cases where one is, party is very, very domineering. And I can't advocate for the party that's, the quieter one who goes along with it. but I can, so I either ask both sides if I can bring someone in, from possibly her or his family to, just be that extra, person there, that extra voice.
Mm-hmm.
And often they say, absolutely, no problem. And generally it might be a parent, or another professional who just is not, no one else is in the room with us or on a Zoom with us, but just someone in the background that can be that support system
Right.
for, the person that is sort of in a weaker, position mentally.
Right.
It's a challenge, but I do my best to not. I never take sides, obviously, but just you can't let one person roll over the other. That's not a fair process either. So I sort of sometimes have to scare the more domineering person with, okay, if this goes to court, here's the outcome. Here's what is probably going to happen. Here's how much it's going to cost, and here's the time involved. So I try and use the reality of the court system as a stop to the more domineering party.
Yeah, that's a great way. And it
Yeah,
shows that you can be in those situations and still be in mediation, because people do get a little afraid of that. But I see
absolutely.
those cases go to mediation all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, at the end of the day, an attorney is going to review the agreement before they're signing
Yes.
it. So
Yes.
outside attorney review is an excellent check, which that goes to the point of how do you manage the stronger person in the room. Outside attorney is a huge check. Listen, we're going to go through all of this. And if you're not really bending here and this is all going to blow up once his or her attorney reads the agreement. So do you want to waste your time? Do you then want to go through all of this and then it gets blown up on the other side? So the outside attorney review is a very important check
Yeah.
on people that are domineering.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I think people just needed to hear that,
Yeah,
because people tend to be a little afraid of that, like that they're,
100%. And I get it. I totally understand. It's scary when there's a power differential, and it's existed in the marriage for God knows how long, and then all of a sudden I'm asking them to trust me to get them a fair result, and it's hard to buy in. I understand. Just give it a shot.
yes, yes,
You'll be
yes.
surprised.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we could talk for hours about this
I
because it is a great
know.
topic. But tell us, if people want to learn more about you and your practice, where would they go to learn that?
To my website, which is zdsmediation.com. My company is Zell Divorce Solutions. And it's not just divorce mediation, it's also co-parenting mediations after the fact, amendments to parenting agreements. There's all sort. My goal is to help people keep it out of the system. It's once you're in it, it's very hard to get out. And I have people coming to me that already were in the system for a year and a half, and now they realize they want to stop working with their attorneys and just finish it out through mediation. um, you know, but yes, to go to I get excited. I get
And,
I get sidetracked. But zdsmediation.com. And yeah, my goal is just there's a lot of services there. You can learn more about me and call the number on the website. If I'm not in a meeting, I will answer. People are always surprised when I answer the phone.
oh, yeah, yeah, I would be surprised too.
Yeah, no.
Because it's,
If I
yeah,
if
because
I can,
you're
I'm
busy.
gonna answer it.
Yeah. How about your Instagram page? Because I think your Instagram page is real. Like you have like great information on there, and then you'll just like you're out and about, and you're just like, oh, I thought of this, and I'm gonna post this today. So
Yeah,
I love that about you. So
I
tell us your
appreciate.
Instagram page.
Yes, so my Instagram page is Zell Divorce Solutions. Also, same Facebook page, same content on both. So if you're not
Okay.
on one platform or the other, it's the same. I share the same information to both. I aim to be real. First of all, it's the only way I know how to be. Like I can't put on a show, and I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, and I really just want to be as real and human as I can. I can't put on a show. So I appreciate that. It's scary for me to put, content out there. I'm much more comfortable in a Zoom or a meeting setting than having my camera and talking to it. It's not my comfort zone, trying to get better at it, but I just want the information to be accessible and relatable. I'm not on this different planet. We're all like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
It's hard. Let
it
me
is.
help.
Good, good, good. Well, definitely people should follow you and check out your website.
Thank you.
Another question I have, give me an example of a challenge that you have had as a professional woman.
I would say getting being taken seriously.
Okay. Okay.
Being taken seriously. I definitely am welcoming. I'm welcoming, aging a little bit more than I have in the past. I may go a little longer than I normally would to get my hair colored with the grays to cover up the grays. I need them showing through sometimes. I would say that would be, an issue that I maybe I'm self-aware of. That's getting taken seriously.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, I understand that. I had, when I started in my industry many years ago, I had such a baby face, and I would like, I was like, how do I make myself look older? What can I do? And now I'm like, well, I don't have to. I got the grays in there.
Yeah. I'm a lot less hard on myself and worried about aging now because I do believe it helps professionally.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah. And then later on, it comes back to us, but that's okay. It all works.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of aging, like in the time machine, what is your vision of retirement for yourself?
Oh, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. I can't even, like, that's funny to me because I really am I'm so excited about this. And I think there's so much education that needs to be made and awareness of this as a process. Like, my goal is to make mediation the standard, right?
Good.
Instead of the exception to the rule. So my retirement, that question is funny to me because I no,
can't even, right? Yeah. I get that. I get that. Well, I might be wrong about this, but I think in Georgia, you have to meet with a mediator before you can go to an attorney. There's some kind of, I think it's Georgia. It's one of those states down there that they kind of push mediation as a first process.
Well, good for Georgia.
I know, right? That's pretty cool.
Georgia.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm right about the state.
It might be starting a little bit in Pennsylvania because courts are so backlogged that they're, mandating, other forms of, through the system still. But it's the change is slow, but hopefully it's going to progress.
Yeah. Well, good. We'll all benefit from it. That's awesome.
For sure.
Well, Sandra, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a delight to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, as always, to see you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think our call to action today is, if you are in a situation where, your friend or a loved one is, thinking about going through a divorce or are being told you're going to be going through a divorce, consider mediation as one of the first options as opposed to, going down the legal route, going to court and all that fun stuff. It may save you time, it may save you money, and it may save a lot of heartache. So that's 100%. What we're sticking with.
100%. The takeaway is definitely make mediation a part of your educational process before you pay that retainer.
Yeah, all day long. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us. Again, I am Regina McCann HESS, president of Forge Wealth Management. You can follow me at forgewealth.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Forge Wealth. LinkedIn, Regina McCann HESS. Go make it a great day. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Women in Wealth podcast. You can watch the founders video I created for you to learn more about me and how I can guide you towards your financial independence at www.forgewealth.com. The information in this podcast is educational and general in nature and does not take into consideration the listener's personal circumstances. Therefore, it is not intended to be a substitute for specific, individualized financial, legal, or tax advice. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a final decision. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group and Forge Wealth Management are separate entities from the LPL Financial. Our show guests and their companies are not affiliated with nor endorsed by LPL Financial, Private Advisor Group, or Forge Wealth Management.